What's up, dentists? Dr. Drew Ballard here again to try to talk to you a little bit about some things that I've been thinking about to help you guys as you transition from dental school into private practice. But this one's for more like the new crowd that's just graduating dental school, maybe looking for their first job as a dentist. So there are several options here, right? You could go military government, corporate dental, like big dental chain. You can go private practice as an associate, or you can buy your own practice. Lucky for you, I've done all of these things, so I've got experience with each one. First, let's talk about military government service. So, I was on a military scholarship at UOP, expensive school, right? So that was very, very helpful, and I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity. I also always wanted to be an Army officer. So that was something that would really appeal to me to be able to do both those things. Here's the pros and cons about Army and other military service. Pros, it's very stable. In addition, you're going to be able to meet a lot of interesting people and maybe even have the opportunity to travel. I was in Korea for 2 years, for example, and I loved it. Some of the negative things about military service. Well, for one, if you stick it out for the long run, it doesn't pay as well as private practice. You will have a good lifestyle, you will be able to enjoy your life and have enough to do the things that you want to do, take some vacations and things like that, but it just doesn't pay as well overall. Second, it's a very rigid environment. You will pretty much always have somebody who is your boss, and you may not always like them. You are assigned. There's not a lot you can do about it. So if that kind of structure doesn't work well for you, it may not be for you. Option number two, let's talk about corporate dental offices. There are several advantages. One great advantage is you're going to have access to great CE and other courses that are going to help you develop as a dentist. Whether it's Kaiser Permanente, Heartland Dental, Pacific Dental Services, I know there are others on the East Coast that are big. All of these organizations, I believe, do their best to take care of their doctors. In addition, it's a safe place to work. Most of the time, they offer a base salary which will allow you to make money day one and allow you to expose yourself to patients, and I hate to say it this way, but actually hone your skills. Some of the negative things about corporate dentistry are, again, it's a big structure. There are going to be managers. Some of those people that may put pressure on you to do certain things may not be doctors. Some other cons may be that you have to adopt the identity of the corporation. For example, if the particular corporation or office that you work for has low standards, or for example has staff that aren't doing well or aren't doing their best work, you may not have the opportunity to hire or fire that staff or provide feedback for that staff, even if you're a direct supervisor. This can be really frustrating to not be able to choose the dental assistant that you work with on a day-to-day basis. In addition, corporate managers may have different opinions about standard of care than you do, or corporations may even have policies regarding standard of care that you may not agree with 100%. So if you are going to look at a corporate dental office, just be aware of those things as you go in. In my mind, corporate dental offices actually probably are the best option for a new dentist. Option number three, private practice associateships. A private practice associateship may present itself as an older doctor or a more established doctor who is trying to expand their practice and is looking for an associate dentist to come in and help with that growth or that excess that they're experiencing. This can be a great situation in certain circumstances. There are pros and cons. Again, pros, it's a great opportunity to learn about private practice and how a private practice is run if that's your ultimate goal to get there. In addition, you maybe have more autonomy in the way you practice dentistry. It's a smaller organization, there's less rigidity, and also you're going to have the opportunity to work with the people that you want to work with, hopefully hire your own assistant, or at least have feedback in that area. Some cons of this. To me, this is the most risky of all your options. When you're working with a single dentist that's used to doing it their way, they're used to being in control of everything, they're expanding out to the point where they can't handle it anymore, and they want you to come in and do the things their way. Remember, it's always right as long as it's their way. So that can be really, really tricky. If you have somebody that you have tremendous history with, a dad, an uncle, somebody that you trust totally, and you are invited to come to that practice, I think that's a good scenario. If you've never met this person and this is a job that you found on a website or something like that and you think it's going to work out, I would not go into this scenario. It's very difficult. I have seen this happen dozens and dozens of times. People trying to step into a private practice situation with an older doctor, it just doesn't work out very well, and usually it ends up with hurt feelings and people moving on to something else. In my mind, for a new dentist, this is your least desirable option. Option number 4, buying a private practice. This is also a risky endeavor, but I think it can be done, and I think it's one of your top choices. Buying a private practice, you want to look into something that is small enough for you to handle, something where you have an opportunity to bring in coaches that can help you, and ideally in a situation where you already are familiar with the community and you kind of know what you're doing there. Again, in reviewing all these 4 options, I like to sort of delineate a path that I think is most successful for new dentists, and here's what it is. Enter into the workforce with a corporate office. Do this for 1 or 2 years. This is going to give you experience, it's going to get your hands speed up, it's going to give you a flavor for what you like and what you don't like. After those 2 years, look for a private office to buy. This is a wonderful opportunity. Everybody is saying how the private practice is getting more and more difficult. That is not true. In fact, the opportunity for private practice has never been better, particularly because the competition is becoming more corporate. Now don't get me wrong, those corporations can be good competition, but if you're good, if you care, if you build relationships, if you're good at that kind of thing, private practice is going to be the most rewarding, not only from a financial perspective, but also rewarding because of the relationships that you're going to build with your patients. So the best path, again, corporate office, transition into private practice. If you find another path that works for you, that's great. I'd love to hear your feedback about it. This is my guidance for you, new dentists, on how you can enter the workforce and do your very, very best to get to that level that you want to get at as soon as possible. Hope you enjoyed this vlog. See you next time.